Selections from the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. Part 20. The Ideal of a Universal Religion. How it must embrace different types of minds and methods. Section 1. Wheresoever our senses reach, or whatsoever our minds imagine, we find therein the action and reaction of two forces, the one counteracting the other and causing the constant play of the mixed phenomena that we see around us, and of those which we feel in our minds. In the external world, the action of these opposite forces is expressing itself as attraction and repulsion, or as centripetal and centrifugal forces, and in the internal as love and hatred, good and evil. We repel some things, we attract others. We are attracted by one, we are repelled by another. Many times in our lives we find that without any reason whatsoever, we are as it were attracted towards certain persons, at other times similarly, we are repelled by others. This is patent to all, and the higher the field of action, the more potent, the more remarkable are the influences of these opposite forces. Religion is the highest plane of human thought and life, and herein we find that the workings of these two forces have been most marked. The intensest love that humanity has ever known has come from religion, and the most diabolical hatred that humanity has known has also come from religion. The noblest words of peace that the world has ever heard have come from men on the religious plane, and the bitterest denunciation that the world has ever known has been uttered by religious men. The higher the object of any religion and the finer its organization, the most remarkable are its activities. No other human motive has deluged the world with blood so much as religion. At the same time, nothing has brought into existence so many hospitals and asylums for the poor. No other human influence has taken such care not only of humanity but also of the lowest of animals as religion has done. Nothing makes us so cruel as religion, and nothing makes us so tender as religion. This has been so in the past and will also in all probability be so in the future. Yet, out of the midst of this din and turmoil, this strife and struggle, this hatred and jealousy of religions and sect, there have arisen from time to time potent voices, drowning all this noise, making themselves heard from pole to pole, as it were proclaiming peace and harmony. Will it ever come? Is it possible that there should ever reign unbroken harmony in this plane of mighty religious struggle? The world is exercised in the latter part of this century by the question of harmony in society. Various plans are being proposed, and attempts are made to carry them into practice, but we know how difficult it is to do so. People find that it is almost impossible to mitigate the fury of the struggle of life, to tone down the tremendous nervous tension that is in man. Now, if it is so difficult to bring harmony and peace to the physical plane of life, the external gross and outward side of it, then 1,000 times more difficult is it to bring peace and harmony to rule over the internal nature of man. I would ask you for the time being to come out of the network of words. We have all been hearing from childhood of such things as love, peace, charity, equality, and universal brotherhood. But they have become to us mere words without meaning, words which we repeat like parrots, and it has become quite natural for us to do so. We cannot help it. Great souls who first felt these great ideas in their hearts manufactured these words, and at that time many understood their meaning. Later on, ignorant people have taken up these words to play with them, and made religion a mere play upon words and not a thing to be carried into practice. It becomes my father's religion, our nation's religion, our country's religion, and so forth. It becomes only a phase of patriotism to profess any religion, and patriotism is always partial. To bring harmony into religion must always be difficult. Yet we will consider this problem of the harmony of religions. We see that in every religion there are three paths. I mean, in every great and recognized religion. First, there is a philosophy which presents the whole scope of that religion, setting forth its basic principles, the goal, and the means of reaching it. The second part is mythology, which is philosophy made concrete. It consists of legends relating to the lives of men or of supernatural beings and so forth. It is the abstractions of philosophy concretized in the more or less imaginary lives of men and supernatural beings. The third part is the ritual. This is still more concrete and is made up of forms and ceremonies, various physical attitudes, flowers and incense, and many other things that appeal to the senses. In these consists the ritual. You will find that all recognized religions have these three elements. Some lay more stress on one, some on another. Let us now take into consideration the first part, philosophy. Is there one universal philosophy? Not yet. Each religion brings out its own doctrines and insists upon them as being the only true ones. And not only does it do that, but it thinks that he who does not believe in them must go to some horrible place. Some will even draw the sword to compel others to believe as they do. This is not through wickedness, but through a particular disease of the human brain called fanaticism. They are very sincere, these fanatics, the most sincere of human beings, but they are quite as irresponsible as other lunatics in the world. This disease of fanaticism is one of the most dangerous of all diseases. All the wickedness of human nature is roused by it. Anger is stirred up, nerves are strung high, and human beings become like tigers. Is there any mythological similarity? Is there any mythological harmony and universal mythology accepted by all religions? Certainly not. All religions have their own mythology. Only each of them says, "My stories are not mere myths." Let us try to understand the question by illustration. I simply mean to illustrate. I do not mean criticism of any religion. The Christian believes that God took the shape of a dove and came down to earth. To him, this is history and not mythology. The Hindu believes that God is manifested in the cow. Christians say that to believe so is mere mythology and not history, that it is superstition. The Jews think that if an image be made in the form of a box or a chest with an angel on either side, then it may be placed in the Holy of the Holies. It is sacred to Jehovah, but if the image be made in the form of a beautiful man or woman, they say this is a horrible idol, break it down. This is our unity in mythology. If a man stands up and says, "My prophet did such and such a wonderful thing," others will say that is only superstition. But at the same time, they say that their own prophet did still more wonderful things which they hold to be historical. Nobody in the world, as far as I have seen, is able to make out the fine distinction between history and mythology as it exists in the brain of these persons. All such stories, to whatever religion they may belong, are really mythological, mixed up occasionally, it may be, with a little history. Next come the rituals. One sect has one particular form of ritual and thinks that that is holy, while the rituals of another sect are simply arrant superstition. If one sect worships a peculiar sort of symbol, another sect says, "Oh, it is horrible." Take for instance a general form of symbol. The phallus symbol is certainly a sexual symbol, but gradually that aspect of it has been forgotten and it stands now as a symbol of the Creator. Those nations which have this as a symbol never think of it as a phallus. It is just a symbol and there it ends. But a man from another race or creed sees in it nothing but the phallus and begins to condemn it. Yet at the same time he may be doing something which to the so-called phallic worshippers appears most horrible. Let me take 2 points for illustration: the phallus symbol and the sacrament of the Christians. To the Christians, the phallus is horrible, and to the Hindus, the Christian sacrament is horrible. They say that the Christian sacrament, the killing of a man and the eating of his flesh and drinking of his blood to get the good qualities of that man is cannibalism. This is what some of the savage tribes do. If a man is brave, they kill him and eat his heart because they think that it will give them the qualities of courage and bravery possessed by that man. Even such a devout Christian as Sir John Lubbock admits this and says that the origin of this Christian symbol is in the savage idea. The Christians, of course, do not admit this view of its origin, and what it may imply never comes to their mind. It stands for a holy thing, and that is all they want to know. So, even in rituals, there is no universal symbol which can command general recognition and acceptance. Where then is any universality? How is it possible then to have a universal form of religion? That, however, already exists, and let us see what it is.